بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم أما بعد. I'm going to talk today about fasting, and the first thing I want to speak about is the technical definition of fasting, which in Arabic is siyam or saum, which means technically to abstain oneself from food, drink, and sexual relations between dawn, fajr, and sunset, maghrib, with the intention of drawing near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to talk today about the obligatory fast of Ramadan. First thing I want to mention about it is how to determine the beginning of the month of Ramadan. The time of Ramadan is determined in one of two ways. First, by sighting the new moon on the 29th of Sha'ban. So if by the 29th of Sha'ban, normally by sunset, the new moon can be seen, the next day will be the first of Ramadan. Therefore, it's very important to know when Sha'ban starts, because as you know, in some countries the 29th of Sha'ban may be in other countries the 28th of Sha'ban, right? So the visualization of the month of the moon and the beginning of the Islamic months should be carefully established. Now, if the crescent or the new moon is not visualized on the 29th of Sha'ban, then another extra day is added to the month of Sha'ban, and that will be the 30th of Sha'ban, and then the following day will be the first of Ramadan. So Sha'ban can have either 29 days or 30 days. If the moon is not visualized, another day is added and it will be completed to 30. Both ways of determining the beginning of Ramadan demand knowledge of the Islamic calendar, and the start of Sha'ban should be known. It is very important to know that Ramadan is not established by astronomical calculations, but by the actual sighting of the moon. I'm not going to get into which is the basis of every ruling on the Quran or on the Sunnah. We're going to stick to what the schools of fiqh say. As you know, we have claims of visualization of the moon in different countries. Nowadays it's not as it was before. Before, people didn't have capacity of communication with other countries. There were no televisions and radios and internet as we have nowadays. So this has changed the circumstances. Nevertheless, we have to establish a clarity and a way to discriminate whether the claims of visualization are acceptable or not. And there is no harm to use the technological advances to establish whether a claim of visualization should be accepted or not. Therefore, we have to use the scientific advances in order to determine whether a claim is acceptable or not. People are very comfortable to use television to find out what has been said in such and such distant country, or the internet. Therefore, we should be consistent in our logic and use the knowledge that Allah has given us in order to specify, to determine whether a claim is acceptable or not. A very important thing to know is that the majority of the times that a visualization of the moon is announced in Saudi Arabia, the majority, or all the astronomers, Muslims or non-Muslims, deny the possibility of it. This is a very important thing to know. And the majority of the other Arab countries base their declaration of beginning of Ramadan on what Saudi Arabia has said. And really, unless Saudi Arabia government explains clearly on which basis have they established the beginning of Ramadan, I don't see that is acceptable to base our beginning of Ramadan on their claim of visualization, because it's denied by all the astronomers. This is like saying at 12 o'clock at night how brilliant is the sun in the sky. And we know that normally at 12 o'clock at night there's no sun in the sky. So when they claim that the moon has been seen, it could not have been seen at all. So they declare the beginning of Ramadan. The majority of other Arab countries declare it following Saudi Arabia. People put on TV and follow what they say on TV, and what we get here in Europe and in the United States is a big confusion. Now, it's understandable that the people just follow what their organizations or what they see on TV. But the ulama, what is a shame is that the ulama do not have enough care to find out whether a visualization is acceptable or not. So what I say is that we should not take as valid visualizations that are not confirmed by astronomy, but that are totally denied by what the astronomers say. I'm not saying to base Ramadan on what the astronomer says, to base it on visualization, but on a visualization that is plausible. This is what I wanted to say, and I want to take advantage of this to make a call to the ulama in Europe and the ulama in Great Britain, especially, to get together and look into this matter, which is creating confusion and division among the Muslims, and be more careful with how we perform our ibadat in Ramadan, our ibadat in general and specifically in Ramadan. I'm more careful with the establishment of the beginning of Ramadan and not just follow what other countries or organizations claim, which has absolutely no basis, neither in the fiqh nor on astronomically, on scientifically speaking. Thank you very much.